So I'd vaguely heard of a product called ChessBase, but it wasn't until 1987 that I met Frederick Friedel when he had come to the tournament to the Lloyds Bank event in London. And there he told me a bit about it and then suggested that I come and visit him in Hamburg and check out this new software. Of course, at that point I had no idea about computers or how they could be used for chess. But by the end of the year, I managed to get an Atari. I still didn't have any games, but I could see what the software was like, and it seemed interesting. I think initially the people who fell in love with it were the laziest ones. This software seemed sort of designed for them. We didn't have to go searching for books and making index cards and things like that. And also you could take a lot less luggage suddenly. A lot of the encyclopedias and books that you would have to carry, and even I think this tournament chess bulletin where they would just simply print games, suddenly you could leave all that stuff home. So this was excellent. I went to Hamburg, got my first set of floppy diskettes, and I think at some point in 1989 I actually upgraded my notebook to some horrible beast which by today's standards incredibly fat and couldn't store very much. What I remember of the early versions of ChessBase was the instructions manual would always tell you to please abbreviate names, and I think the example they used was Azmai Parashvili against Chiburdanidze, and said, well, if you put A, Z, M, A and a star and C, H, I, B and a star, then or an asterisk, then you saved a lot of hard disk space. But it slowly started to get better. I think the next historic event I witnessed with ChessBase was when Matias Bull came to the Belgrade GMA Open, and I remember him trying to convince Efim Geller, the legendary player, and tried to show him what the software could do. And I still remember, as if it were yesterday, Geller's reaction. He sort of looked at Matias and said, "It's for little boys." Anyway, slowly, at least the younger generation, I think, really started to get into it. The ChessBase office in Hamburg, in Mexico Ring, started to become a kind of meeting point for chess players. At least one player I can remember vividly meeting him there for the first time, Rustem Dautov. And typically a lot of the chess players after their Bundesliga events, if they were anywhere near Hamburg, they might pop by for a visit. And it was a nice place, kind of, you got in with a bunch of nice guys and got to spend an afternoon with them. Then for a couple of years, we enjoyed sort of coming and picking up these floppy diskettes. I think some of the younger players, especially the ones who were born in the 90s and are now at the top of world chess, they might be forgiven for thinking that they used to attach floppy diskettes to sort of carrier pigeons and then send them off to addresses all over Europe. But in fact, the carrier pigeons they used were very often grandmasters when the postal service didn't work. Then, I don't remember exactly when, maybe 1992 or so, the first version of Fritz came along. And that was fun. At the beginning, you didn't know what to make of it because this was a very, very basic chess engine. So at the beginning, we all sort of, if you felt really bad, you could give it a King's Indian position and then watch it play Rook D2 and Rook D1 and sort of double on the D file and make all these typical computer mistakes. But slowly we realized it had some value. You could do some error checking with it, and it caught you in the maiden ones and the odd tactic that you missed. Still early days, but slowly it became a kind of part of our lives. I think a lot of the non-German participants, players, probably didn't know what Fritz meant. Then we discovered it was the name of a German emperor. But you know how it is. By 1993, everyone was addressing it as Fritzy. And then it seems less of a German emperor and more of a sort of pet dog that you have, a sort of German shepherd you carry with you. But it became better and better. I remember there was this game, my first game with Kamsky in the match in Sanginagar. I think I discovered this move Queen E4 or something like that, based on a tactical point, and I sort of double checked it with Fritz, and I think this is the first time I really made use of the software to find something important. Then the software slowly kept growing. Visiting the office, we met a lot of these guys. Frederick, of course, then the two Matiases, Feist and Bull and Weber, Ben, Pascal, Andre, and of course, if you wanted to get paid, then you had to know Frau Kowalski, I think. So it was really kind of a home away from home. I forget when the DVDs started coming out, or maybe we should just say CDs in the beginning. So where you could do a little bit of annotation. Again, for lazy people, I think it was wonderful not having to write out your annotations and sort of fax them everywhere. You could just do them on the computer and give them to ChessBase whenever you met them, or slowly as the internet came along, email it to them. And DVDs, I think, were an important step because they allowed you to explain your thoughts rather than give just tons and tons of variations. You might want to bring home what it is you saw during a game and why you did a certain thing. I think it was a very important touch, and I suspect that a lot of players actually benefited from this kind of instruction and learnt from it. I think the next stage was probably the server and the website. The website is obviously one of the most important chess websites. It's a must-do site for most people to find out about chess. And then we started hearing the stories of people spending hours and days on the server playing and trying to get their ratings up. But you could also log on at any time and watch other people do this. So you didn't really have to get addicted yourself. It was just a fun way to watch blitz happen. I think ChessBase is a particularly remarkable kind of software. Of course, it brings back quite some nostalgia when you see the photos of the early versions, the Atari version, or maybe the first DOS versions and so on. Simple stuff. Of course, now the software is much, much more sophisticated, and we get a lot of new functions that over the years we've learned to use. But what I find most remarkable about the software is whenever it malfunctions and you complain to ChessBase, and then you take it to ChessBase, and typically Frederick will wake Matias Feist up and ask him to come by and take a look. But whenever ChessBase top brass are watching, the software will never malfunction. It will always work perfectly when you're there, and Feist would say, yeah, I see, I understand the problem and so on, but you understand that these guys are looking at you rather strangely. But I think it's easy to overlook sometimes what a fundamental change has taken place in the world of chess. It's very few companies that can say that they changed their industry almost completely. And if you look at chess today, modern chess, the way it's played, the way people analyze the play, the way people prepare, everything is sort of influenced directly or indirectly by what started all those years back in 1986. So I think a big congratulations and a wonderful 25th happy birthday to everyone at ChessBase. I think you should feel very proud of yourself, and I wish lots and lots of success in the years to come. Thanks.